Hi, this is Jeff. I want to talk a little bit about Final Cut Pro and Premiere Pro interoperability, and particularly getting XML out of Final Cut and getting your projects over to Premiere Pro. So let's just take a quick look at this timeline here. I've got a cross dissolve here in the beginning. I've got a cross dissolve at the end. Take a look at my audio tracks. You can see that I have the volume down on them a little bit. Two other things I want to point out. I would like to point out right here, I have a picture-in-picture up on V2, and I've got some markers here, and particularly I have a marker called Take the Color Out of This Shot. The marker is going to come across as well as I double-click this shot, the three-way color corrector performing this effect. Now that you see what the timeline looks like, let's do the work. I'm going to go up here to the File menu. I'm going to say Export an XML file. If I have nothing selected, Final Cut will say, what do you want to bring across? And bring across all the bins, all the clips, and my sequence. I definitely want to pick the most recent version of XML. That would be version 5. I'm going to say OK. I'm going to put this on my desktop. I'm going to call this XML for Premiere Pro Import. I'm going to say Save. Let's switch over to Premiere Pro. I'm going to hit a Command Tab. You need that XML file, obviously, to do this work. Here I am inside of Premiere Pro. I'm going to double click my project. Here is my XML for import. A couple things are going to happen here. I'm going to see a translation report that we want to definitely examine. I'm going to roll this open. Before I go any further, let's just take a quick look at the project. I hit the tilde key to see everything. You can see here we've got the translation result. Notice that everything's in the same bins as we had inside of Final Cut. I'm going to go ahead and open up this translation result. This is a text file. It's going to tell me what came across. It says that there's a three-way color corrector on here that is approximate and should be reviewed. Okay, so let's definitely do that. Let's take a look at all of our different pieces here. I'm going to go ahead and hit the tilde key again, the accent grave to bring that back down. Let's open up my sequence. I'm going to hit my backslash key above my return key so we can see everything. And let's make this just a little taller. Let's start with our audio. When I roll open Audio 3, we can see that this has been panned down. Let me make this a little larger so we can see it a little bit better. We can see there that the volume has been reduced. It brought it across the volume information for Final Cut Pro. We can see here we've got our picture-in-picture shot that we can go ahead and adjust, as well as the dissolve at the head and the dissolve at the tail of the sequence. I have my markers that come across, and you can see when I hovered on that marker, you can see it brought across that information, as well as the three-way color corrector on this shot. When I go ahead here and I scroll down, you'll see there's the three-way color corrector pushed into blue and desaturated like it was in Final Cut. So this is the really great thing, is that there's a really great talking back and forth, and particularly over to Premiere Pro, where you can do all the things that you can do beautifully in Premiere Pro, whether it's export a Blu-ray to Encore, use Adobe Media Encoder, or use bunches of these clips inside of After Effects. The last thing I'll tell you is you definitely should look at Appendix D from the book, The Working with Final Cut Pro, just so you can see a full list of what does and doesn't come across and what sort of hiccups you might have.